Barbenheimer lit a fire under the box office receipts. Could it light a fire under the ratings of the sagging Academy Awards on ABC? Hey everyone, this is Kevin T. Rodriguez, film critic of iCritic.net. Thank you so much for watching this video. And let's talk about Barbenheimer again, and let's talk about if it can actually be a repeat success rate at the Oscars, why it should happen, and why it probably will happen. Now, both Barbie and Oppenheimer are very different movies. That's why the whole Barbenheimer phenomenon actually occurred in the first place. But there's no denying that both are really good movies, and both have Oscar written all over them, despite the fact that one is essentially a glorified toy commercial. I'm never letting that one go because it's just factually true. Regardless of the source material, though, and what it was intended to do, the bottom line is both movies are excellent. I gave Oppenheimer 5 stars. I would be very surprised if I saw a better film this year. And I gave Barbie 4 stars. It may even make my top 10 best films of the year list. And now a lot of talk has gone to Oscar, and while some people are debating whether or not it can get into the top categories, I think it actually has a very good shot at getting into the top categories. First of all, I believe both Oppenheimer and Barbie will be nominated for Best Picture with 10 slots. There's no reason not to include them both. And while Greta Gerwig is a little bit more of a long shot to get a Best Director nomination than Christopher Nolan, I think she has a very good shot because she has, she's directed the highest grossing film ever by a female director, and it's really good to boot. It'll get a bunch of other Oscar nominations, so I think she's in. Now, in terms of Cillian Murphy going up against Margot Robbie with the Actor and Actress Awards, first of all, they really wouldn't be going head-to-head with one another. They're different categories, but I think Cillian Murphy will get a Best Actor nomination. I actually, despite predicting a lot of high-tier award nominations for Barbie, I don't know if Margot Robbie's going to be one of them. I actually think she might be the least important and interesting thing about the film in a strange way. Not in like the fact that she is terrible in the film, only that I've definitely seen her do better work, and this is not Oscar quality work. But that being said, her co-star Ryan Gosling is almost certain to be nominated along with Robert Downey Jr. in Oppenheimer. In fact, both of these men are going for the win because these are by far the best two performances of the year, and maybe there's a third one that comes in at the last minute, but otherwise I think those two are going to be competing for each other for the top awards. And I believe both will get nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay, and then you have all those various technical categories. Now, so first of all, should Barbie be nominated for Picture, Director, and all these awards? In my opinion, is yes. I think it is a movie that is worthy of being nominated for these awards. And should the Academy nominate them? Yes, because they're worthwhile movies. But there's a second reason why they probably should, and that is for the ratings. Now look, the Oscar ratings have been declining for a while, but last year there was a significant bump in the ratings, particularly because movies that people actually liked and wanted to see win were nominated. Movies like Elvis and Top Gun Maverick and the eventual winner, Everything Everywhere All at Once. These are movies that people watched. They knew what they were, and they wanted to see them compete. Because here's the thing about the Academy Awards. Yeah, it's really pointless in the grand scheme of things who wins an Oscar or who doesn't. Despite all the griping that goes on with the Oscar stage about how we need to do better and we're going to fight for rights, it's not like winning an Oscar actually changes anyone's life except for the person who win it. They get a pay raise the next time they sign on for their next film, and sometimes even that doesn't happen. But they are fun, kind of like watching your favorite sports team win the Super Bowl. In the grand scheme of things, it's really not that important, and it's even pointless to watch a bunch of grown men tossing around pigskin when you get around to it. But it's fun. Some people find it a rousing good time. I personally don't. My little favorite pastime is watching little golden statues get handed out as we debate whether or not that performance was truly better than this performance, but that's what it is. So people will watch the Oscars when there are movies they like in the competition. This is also one of the reasons why the Titanic broadcasts is still the highest grossing broadcast of all time for the Oscars. Now, just because Barbenheimer could save the Oscars doesn't mean you should do it. But again, we've established that both movies are worthy of being honored in the top categories. It could really help the ratings. So you know what? Why not do it, Academy? Why not just pull the trigger and say, yep, Barbenheimer, the sequel, is coming to the Academy Awards. Both films will have somewhere between 8 to 13 Oscar nominations. They will be going head-to-head in many categories. You can even encourage people to record their reactions to the winners and losers, share them on Instagram. You will encourage people to throw Oscar parties again, and people can dress up however they want. If they're Team Oppenheimer, they can dress up in the trench coat with the hat. And if they're into Barbie or they really want Barbie to win, they can wear the pink and they can have their little Barbie dolls nearby. And I bet you could turn this into a social media trending thing, and it would really galvanize the Oscars again. And the thing is, if one of them wins, and I think one of them has a very good shot of winning, then you've really gotten people talking about the Oscars again. And this is people talking about the Oscars in a good way. This isn't like them talking about the Will Smith slap, where we basically were dismayed by how immature Will Smith was to Chris Rock. That's not good publicity. But if you want people to genuinely come back to the Oscars, you have to nominate movies that they like. You have to nominate movies they would want to see win. And in the case of Barbenheimer, you have two movies that audiences want to see win, and they will come in to watch it as if it were a Jake Paul fight. This is absolutely going to help the Academy Awards if it happens. Now, again, if Barbie or Oppenheimer were not Oscar-worthy films, I wouldn't even be recommending. But you know what? They are both Oscar-worthy films in their own right. I think it would be silly for the Academy not to do it. And you know what's really great about this? You don't even have to, give a movie an award. Like last year, like if you really wanted to save the Oscar ratings, give Top Gun all the Oscars because people would love to see Top Gun win. But this year, hey, you just show Oppenheimer and Barbie facing off in most of the categories, and that will be enough to get people to start watching and talking. But with that being said, what do you think? Would you like to see a rematch of Barbenheimer at the Oscars? Do you think that that's a match that is worth having? By the way, what do you think of my new cap and my shirt? I actually finally went to the Academy Awards Museum in Los Angeles, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. I'd love to know. Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe, and as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.